Show up.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Attack on Cowboys. And today we have a very special guest today. Include my boy Ray from Ray's podcast. But we have a guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience real quick, and we're going to get right into it.
What's up, everybody? 2 Live Craig here. 2 Live Culture.
2 Live Craig, 2 Live Culture. This man right here is responsible for getting some of your favorite athletes around the league, in the college ranks, high school ranks, whatever you want to say. He's responsible for getting some of these guys in shape and helping them perform to tip-top service for the fandom, for Cowboys Nation. So I wanted to bring you in today to kind of just talk about the behind the scenes of the preparation, because I don't think the fans really understand the amount of work it takes, the details involved in actually becoming an athlete at the highest level, and kind of talk to the audience about some of the guys that you've worked with, kind of what you've seen working with these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, there's a lot that goes into it. I don't know that people truly understand the depths that a lot of these guys have to go to get to that point.
Right.
And then once you get there, having to stay there, it takes hours and hours of preparation every day, when it comes to both their mindset, their body, their recovery, their nutrition,
Right.
the on-the-field training, the off-the-field training, the weight training, the speed training. There's so much that goes into it. And there's so many different pieces of it that add so much value to the end goal.
Right.
Right. It's an extensive process, and there's, these guys, they put a lot of work into it. It's
right.
These aren't dudes that are sitting around hanging out on the couch half the day.
I was about to say,
popping up, going to practice for an hour and going home. Like, that's not how it works.
Exactly. So I know you see it, and obviously you work with some pretty high profile guys, but I know you see the way the fans just feel like football only takes place on Sundays or Thursdays or whenever they play that game, and it's like, oh, you need to spend more time on football. It's like, hey, man, you got to realize these dudes are already spending more time on football throughout the day than you're spending at your regular job.
Oh, 100%.
100%. That's with everything.
It's hours and hours and hours and hours of not only just studying film, but studying your playbook, studying every little detail of what your opponent is going to do next week.
Right.
Right. Everything that you can find to give yourself an advantage over the opponent next week is the entire week's preparation. Like, you are trying to set yourself and your team up for success.
Right.
By finding every little detail, fine-tooth combing every single detail. To get to the point where you can beat another professional who's probably making just as much, if not more money.
That's the thing.
To do what they're trying to do, which is defeat you in the same way you're trying to defeat them.
Right.
So it's not just a job.
It's a lifestyle.
It is a life.
And Ray, you already know, man, we're excited about the upcoming season. I know,
sure.
Obviously, you've seen the acquisition
GP.
Of George Pickens.
Oh, buddy.
What are we thinking about George Pickens being brought to the Cowboys?
GP is one of the most physically gifted human beings I've ever seen.
Oh, you about to make me run through the wall like Kool-Aid Man in here. Hold up.
I don't know that I've seen CD in person. I've seen GP in person. They are both two of the deadliest weapons in the game.
Right.
GP's had some issues with, where he was in the situation and the stress with that. And I've been around situations like that have been, I've seen guys that are really, really good not be able to, hold on one second.
No, you're good.
Daddy duty.
I can cut all this out. I'm cut that part out. Cut that part out. Post edited AOC. Cut that part out.
Golly.
I'm probably going to leave it in. I ain't going to lie to you.
Come on, man.
It's going to be a big blur walk across the screen. Like, what is that?
You can put him in there. He's cool.
Okay.
He's got his own Instagram and everything.
Okay, cool. I'm about to say, we talk about future stars. We're going to get into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But man, I'm telling y'all, man, this 2-year-old over here releases, backpedaling, all that stuff. Hey, man, some of the Andrew Booth. You can learn from my guy. No, let me stop.
Boy,
Let me stop. Let me stop. I'm just playing. You cool. We poke fun over here. Relax, man. Y'all too successful not to be able to take a joke. Relax.
Back to GP.
Back to GP.
One of the most physically gifted human beings I've ever seen. His twitchiness, his speed, his ability to catch the ball, his understanding of space. Like, this dude is different. I've been at a few different places with him.
Okay.
I've seen him at the Receiver Factory. Brandon White had dude cooking. Like,
Really?
crazy. And then he's with one of my good friends, Route God.
Right.
He's been with him.
Yeah, Rock Guy's big on Instagram. Yeah. So GP's like that. He practices like that.
It's ridiculous like that.
Okay,
Yes.
so you say you've been around him with this on at least on a couple of occasions. A lot of the negative dialogue around GP has been.
I'm so
Thank you.
tired of that. Listen, one of the things this is what bothers me the most about people, like especially fans. No offense, but don't talk about someone's personality if you've never even met them.
Thank you.
You're taking a narrative that the media created off of a story that they heard. You don't know the person. You
Right.
don't know the human being. So
Right.
a lot of people. I got in an argument the other day with somebody about it. Like, why are you trying to talk like you know the person?
Right.
You don't know him.
Right.
I asked him, have you ever met him? Well, no, but all the stuff I see on the sidelines, I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't know the guy. Like, you can't talk about someone that you don't actually know.
Man.
You don't know how they think. You don't know how they talk. You've probably never even seen his face. Like,
And I can tell by the way you're responding right now just how the other
He
side
did,
of that
man.
you've seen the other side of it. And you're like, bro, no way. Because the thing is, if you look into George Pickens, he hasn't gotten in any trouble. There's nothing that would indicate that him character-wise there's an issue. People have turned his uber competitiveness and that demonstrative display of competitiveness on the field at times, because it's not even all the time either. A lot of the time you could tell he's kind of like a boiling pot and he's ready just to take that out on a defender at some point in the play. I like that.
Dez Bryant.
I like that. That's what I'm saying. I don't get that. Dez Bryant. And GP said that in one of his quotes. He was like, hey, man, I feel like I'm the best player out there on that field. And what I'm trying to do is, if I don't get that ball, I'm trying to take my anger out on that DB. I'm about to block him to the ground so that way attention does come back on me.
He's a dog.
Yeah.
He is a dog.
That's everything you want on the team, in my opinion. I think that the GP and that temperament he brings, and the reason I was so geeked about it, I was wearing a Pooh Shiesty mask for like a week straight after it happened, by the way. I need to wash it now. But I was geeked because I feel like he brings the exact temperament that this Cowboys team was kind of missing.
Energy.
And also what he brings to me, the ideal complement to CeeDee Lamb.
Oh, 100%.
If we look at CeeDee Lamb where he eats in the slot, CeeDee is going to eat you up in the slot. Now you have a guy that can dominate on the outside while
Outside
CeeDee's
the
on the
numbers,
inside.
yeah.
Good luck stopping that.
And please, I don't know why anybody's not talking about Jalen Tolbert. Jalen
Yeah.
Tolbert is a freak.
Yeah.
Jalen
Okay, talk to
Tolbert
me
is
about.
gonna be-
Now you got to sell me. I need you to sell me on Tolbert. I need you to sell me because okay, it's not that I'm out on Tolbert. It's like I don't know if it's just he hasn't been put in a position to really
He
showcase.
hasn't. Why would they put him in position when they felt like all they needed was CD to eat? They're not going to give him a bunch of targets. They're going to give Cavante targets because, I mean, Terp can do all kinds of things. You need that. You need somebody like Terp that can be your Swiss Army knife and do whatever you need him to do.
Right.
Because you can change looks, you can change window dressing, you can do all kinds of different things that make the DBs and the linebackers freeze.
Okay. So what do you feel like? How do you feel like Tolbert is best used in? Like, if fitting in this offense, how do you see him in a perfect world? How would you use Jalen Tolbert to complement those other two guys?
Well, I mean, you've got intermediate routes that he can open up in space when you've got CD either threatening vertical, or if you've got GP threatening vertical, and you've got CD underneath. That you've got someone at every level that you can get to that's going to be able to. I mean, think about it. Go back and show me a play where Jalen Tolbert missed something or dropped the ball. You're not going to find it.
Well, I've seen Jalen Tolbert. I think my biggest concern is his physicality, because I've seen him get bullied a little bit in blocking situations, and I think that may be like a little bit of his weakness. And Schotty's trying to move towards like this hard-nosed, grit and grind style of football, right? Yeah. Where you're leading with the run game, and the guys that are out there are going to be able to need to block outside on them edges.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of where I was like, can Jalen Tolbert do that? Because we saw him having issues with it in the training camp last year, and then it kind of showed up maybe a couple of times. It wasn't terrible, but it showed up a couple of times last season where that physicality is like, okay, can he be physically imposing enough to dominate his own space?
Right.
That's kind of what I'm looking at with Jalen Tolbert, right?
Fair. And I think that's a fair assessment of him.
Right. So I think that's just where I'm at with it, but just overall with this offense now, with the Cowboys offense,
someone's going to be open at all times.
Always.
Someone is going to be open, whether it's Jake Ferg going across the middle or either if you say Jalen Tolbert, if he ends up being the wide receiver 3, winning a battle in training camp, you got even now.
Ferg gonna be on them hitches and seams.
Yeah, and you
all
also
day.
you got Jadon Blue. They just drafted out of Texas, coming out of the back screens and stuff.
What do you know about our draft class? Do you know any of these guys? Not a lot of them.
To be honest, I don't even know who the Cowboys drafted.
Okay, they got Jaden Blue, Donovan Ezeraiku,
I like JB.
Yeah, Tyler Booker from Alabama.
Yeah.
Jay Toya, defensive tackle from UCLA. Phil Maffa, Shamar James from Florida.
I know they didn't take my
Cornelius.
guys. I know they didn't take mine. I know they were going to take one of them, and they didn't.
Who?
So, they were looking at Miles Price and Kendall Paul.
Oh, really? Really? Where'd they end up going?
Miles is in Minnesota.
Okay.
He's with the Vikings. Kendall was at Raiders minicamp last week.
Okay.
And he's at home right now.
With those guys, okay, so cool. Let's help get your guys some shine. Then let's get your guys some shine. So Kendall Paul.
Yeah.
If you were a guy trying to tell an NFL team like, hey, this is what you're getting from this guy, what would you say to him?
A dog. So here's the thing about Kendall. He's got unreal speed, and he loves to hit. Loves to hit.
Cowboys could have used him.
They know that. They know. Like, here's the thing. He's 165. That is the only thing that's holding him back right now. The only thing holding him back right now. Because the Raiders loved him. Yeah. They told me, they were like, man, if he was bigger, we'd sign him right now.
We got to get those steak and potatoes diet.
No, he is eating. Like, I'm calling him. I'm literally calling him like every hour and a half. What are you doing right now? Eating. You better be. You better be. Good. Double the plate. Whatever you got left, double.
So a guy can have all the other traits an NFL team want, and then it'll be one thing.
If I pulled up his tape and we put it on this right here, you'd be like, what? They didn't sign him?
Yeah.
I'm talking making plays like you wouldn't believe. They had him at the nickel, and he splits the gap, gets in the backfield, makes a tackle on the running back.
At 165.
At 165. But, I mean, they weren't hitting. It was rookie minicamp, so they didn't have pads on. Yeah. But when you see it, you're like, oh, God, he got through there.
He shot back there. Yeah,
How did he get through there quick like that? Like, okay. And Jalen Smith was right next to him, and Jalen Smith was telling him the whole time, he's like, bro, you're about to get paid. You're about to get paid. Like, you're out here going crazy.
Okay.
And then they let him go. So,
damn.
But they said they're high on him, and they've got him on their short list, and the whole.
Yeah, they gave him the whole spiel.
Yeah.
They gave him the whole.
Well, they give it to me, and then I got to go tell him.
Oh, okay, okay. So now you got to be like, hey, I'm just repeating what they said. Yeah, I'm just telling you what they told me.
Yeah, okay. It's a little frustrating.
Well, shout out to you, Kendall Paul, bro. Hope everything works out for you. Obviously, I mean, if you got the skills to pay the bills, a team's gonna come out there as long as you put a little bit more meat on bones, my brother. Yep. So you say, we don't need you out there getting split in half on the field. 165 is treacherous in the NFL.
Yeah.
But where do you see this Cowboys team going? Are you a fan of any NFL team, first of all?
I grew up kind of a Cowboys fan, obviously.
Okay.
And then in the 90s, growing up, I was kind of a 49ers fan.
Oh,
Jerry
Lord.
Rice, Steve
I'd have melted in my seat.
Steve Young, all those guys. Yeah, I mean, growing up in
my
that
pops
era,
is a 49ers fan, so.
You were one or the other,
Yeah.
or both.
Yeah.
Some people were both.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was just great. It was a great time for football. But, no, I think, obviously I've got some teams that I'm closer to, that I have guys on that I'm more closer to. But I wouldn't say that I necessarily have a team.
Okay.
My thing is I want to make sure that the people that I care about, the people that I have a part of their process are successful, and that's really my main focus. But I do love the Cowboys. I mean, they're home. It's family.
Do they have a chance this year? Do they have a chance this year?
Absolutely. I think this is the best year that they've ever had.
I'm right with you. So I'm not crazy.
Yeah. No.
I'm like, I'm looking at how they're moving.
Front to back on offense, front to back on defense. This is a damn good football team.
I mean, depth.
2 deep, 3 deep, yes.
And that's what killed the Cowboys last year was depth.
Yeah,
depth
battle of attrition
last year.
You have to have it.
Yeah. We've been raving about that pass rush room. Oh my Lord!
Oh,
if you see that pass rush room, it is.
You do not want to be a quarterback playing against them.
No, absolutely not. You're always going to have somebody fresh on the field.
Yeah.
From that room, someone is going to be fresh at all times.
Yep.
So those linemen will get wore down, especially towards the end of the game.
And then that secondary
is going to be
secondary is eating. Them boys getting picks left and right.
Yeah.
Because they gotta hurry the ball. They gotta get the ball out.
Yep.
They're coming off of reads early because they're trying to get out of there.
You got Savone out there on the outside now. Hey man,
Hey, I have high hopes for Cowboys. Y'all gonna have to be mad at me, man. Look, I'm about to start pumping the Kool-Aid, and at some point in one of these videos, y'all gonna hear me say we going to the Super Bowl, okay? And y'all just gonna have to be mad, man, okay? I can't help that. I'm a bleed blue, man.
Hey, Troy Aikman went on Good Morning America and said,
Yeah,
hey,
he
Cowboys
said it.
gonna win
If
the
Troy
Super
can
Bowl.
say it, I can say it.
And you know Troy Aikman is very critical of the Cowboys.
Nah, for real.
He is very
so
critical
he
of
feeling
Dallas.
good too about what they. Lena Jones is a move differently, man. You can't say that they haven't taken care of businesses off season. They really have, and I think the players feel that way too. I think the players are more excited. I think Brian Schottenheimer
Change the culture.
Shoddy. That's Shoddy's energy.
Yeah.
It's definitely Shoddy's energy. For sure, that's helping.
Yeah.
That's because even when I met him, I was like, man, this dude is awesome.
Really.
Yeah, like he just has good energy. Like he was hanging out with him, like talking to him and making him feel loved.
Everyone's been
That's
saying
awesome.
that.
That is
Everyone
awesome.
that I
That's
have
awesome.
come in contact with that's met Shoddy is like they instantly like, oh yeah, he's the leader of men. I can
Electric.
absolutely see.
You can feel the electricity, like the energy is just like it's strong. It's somebody that you feel like this guy-
here.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good year.
Okay, so let me back up before I jump through this wall real quick. All right.
And Wanye on defense. Can we talk about
Bro,
Wanye?
Yes,
Wanya's-
please. Let's
Bro,
talk about Wanye.
I've been saying
because he needs a chance. You can't tell me that Wanye.
He's earned
Look,
it.
no offense to any guys on the team, but I've watched Donovan Wilson enough. I've watched some of these guys enough, and I've seen Wanye when he's getting his opportunities, and he can do anything those guys can do, and he's better in coverage. He's better on the back end. So it's like, why are we not putting the best guys on the field? And I think Shoddy's going to kind of open that up this season. I really do.
I think this is Wanye's year.
Yeah,
I think this is the year people realize Wanye Thomas is really that dude.
Here's the thing too. We had a live a couple of weeks ago, or either a couple of days ago. Someone was bashing me in the comments. I was like, honestly, there's so much depth in that safety room. You could almost make Donovan Wilson expendable.
Honestly, and we
like,
ain't
honestly-
going for nobody jobs.
No, we're not,
Yeah,
but
we're
I'm
just
just
talking
saying-
football.
Y'all be.
Just because if you look at Donovan Wilson, his price tag, what he's making like $5 million, $6 million plus a year. You got guys that could play just as good, making less money. It's always a business at the same point. If I could take that money and re-put that money someplace else to make this team stronger, okay, cool. Why?
Man, that's
Steven's.
Steven's job. I don't care about. I don't be doing none of that pocket watching. That's Steven's job. Hey, that is Steven's job. I don't do no pocket watching, bro. Hey, the only time I start talking dudes' money is when people saying they don't deserve their money.
Yeah.
Then it's like, no, they do because X, Y, and Z. But I don't
like
care
that.
about that part.
I just think that Shoddy absolutely is going to give these guys the best guys at that position. I think they're going to actually have a chance to get on the field this year.
Yeah.
I do. And like you said, Wanye Thomas, he's a guy that's been, honestly, to me, I feel like the community has earmarked him for the last year. Like, why are we not seeing more Wanye?
Yeah.
Every time he's come in there and spelled someone,
makes plays.
he makes plays. He's not just out there. He's making plays, bro.
Yeah.
So it's like, give Wanye some more burn. I absolutely agree with that. Now, speaking of other guys that in the future could make plays, Craig, I know that you do work with the younger players as well. Let's kind of get into what is it that you help these young guys do coming up in the football world and the community.
Well, we've got a lot. We start on the training side. I've got connections to all sorts of trainers, and then we work with quarterbacks and receivers, obviously mostly. But we've got a lot of corners that we work with too.
Right.
So on the training side, and then for high school, we help them with recruiting. So we've been helping get a lot of guys, offers, high school kids getting scholarship offers and things like that.
Good.
We've got a lot of college kids that we've kind of helped move through the portal. Getting them placed and getting them offers so that they can continue their journeys. And then obviously we launched the NFL agency this year. So this was our first draft class. Ended up with 9 guys signed to the agency. And then we've got about 4 of them placed right now on teams.
Okay.
And we got a couple more opportunities for the others coming. So
Okay.
yeah, it's been a rough year. It's been crazy.
Yeah,
been
it's going to pay off, though, man. It's going to pay off. You seem like the type of guy that has that work ethic and the want to, the desire. And I always say, man, as long as you got a vision of how to make your dream work, you're going to get there.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not wasted ambition.
I've been obsessed with it. I've been obsessed. It's truly an obsession. People talk about that and like the Mamba mentality, whatever you want to call it. It's real. I've been so locked in on my passion and my purpose and like how it aligns that I've just been going, like head down, going. And I focus a lot on my faith, like my faith in God and His purpose for my life.
Won't He do it?
And that's really all it's been. Like I'm just walking every day.
Yeah.
Like, God, wherever you take me, I'm going.
I hear you.
And it's just been going.
And it's one of the things, like,
Going.
as long as you do everything that is within your power each and every day, you can
Control
go.
your controllables.
You can control what you can control. You can lay down and rest easy at night, every single night.
Yep.
And that's how I move, man. But Craig,
Same.
I appreciate you coming on Attack on Cowboys
Appreciate
with
you
us.
having me.
We do this anytime, brother. Anytime.
Man, you let me know. I'll be here.
I want to actually start doing something where at some point we start kind of showcasing some of these younger guys. You know, put some tape out in front of these coaches and just kind of talking about some of the other guys.
Let's put some events together. If you guys want to come on as a sponsor for one of the events that we've got already.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let us know. Let us know.
Maybe do a podcast out there during it.
Yeah, absolutely. We got you,
That'd be
man.
fire, right?
Yeah, that'd be fire. Hey, would y'all want that? I know y'all can't hear me yet. Y'all gonna hear me after the video go live. Would y'all want that? Let me know down in the comments below. I know you're gonna say yes, but either way, y'all know how we always end these shows, man. It's a real Wyatt party. You cannot get in. Pickens off that Drake and Dak off that hen. How about them Cowboys? That's a wrap.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Oh, shut up, my boy. Hey! I'm still them boys.